so much for joining me on my channel today. And today I have part 3 of January stories in my Project Life album. I am continuing to use the January stories by the month from Ali Edwards. I will link that below if you guys are interested in her kits. And I'll also link below part 1, 2, and then this is part 3. And so I already have everything laid out. I knew I wanted to use whatever had left from the kit. And then I pulled out 2 different cards from my stash. This one right here that says these stories, these words. And this one that talks a little bit about ups and downs, highs and lows in our stories. I picked this card out of my stash and it was serendipity that the colors match perfectly, but also to kind of tell a little story about my cousin who passed away in the month of January. I wanted to make sure that I honored her. So I'll be using this January stories tag card in between here to kind of tell the story about that. And then I have, of course, this card that I pulled out, this filler card. But everything is kind of laid out. So I'm just going to go ahead and start working on this spread. And let's go ahead and fast forward and let's dig in. Okay, darling, so the first thing I work with are the January Stories 3x4 tags. I add the 2x2 little square pictures onto each of them, and I also add the date of the events, and then I'm going to add the title under that date. It just has the perfect amount of space to get everything all on stories. I've seen people use these for journaling, but I thought it was a perfect spot to add like a little 2x2 picture. The way that I use it, that I get these 2x2 pictures is I do a collage on a 4x6 of 6 2x2s, and that's why you see 5 of these here, and I have 1 more left over for another project. I really love this 4x6 vellum card that has all the colors of the collection because I feel like it kind of brings the spread together. And I used it to house 3 pictures of my daughter. And then I'm going to work on the journaling on this pink January Stories card, which basically I'm just writing about my feelings and how how much it impacted me, the loss of my cousin. When I do my journaling by hand, it's just stream of conscious. And it was just, I really wanted to get this story here because I want to be able to record the good and the bad and the not so good, right? Okay, so moving on, I am now going to work on doing journaling on these words and this story. I'm using this journaling card to do my micro stories. So my first story is just writing how I'm extremely proud of my son and how he's always on honor roll and working hard at home, even though he's taking high school classes in a middle school setting. And then my second one is about me taking an evening out to have dinner with my husband and how that is always a mood enhancer for me, just spending time with him. And lastly, just a line saying that I went on a Starbucks morning run. Okay, the next thing I'll be doing is adding word phrase stickers to my photos. I love adding these just for a little bit of context of the pictures, and I just think it's cute and also also brings a little bit of cohesiveness to the spread. So I'll grab those stickers. In the picture of my son at his honor roll ceremony, I pick the making waves and the dream it, do it. And in the picture of me carrying my coffee, I pick a day in a life and it's giving me, because of course, coffee in the morning is always giving me. In the one of my husband, or the meal that me and my husband had out, I put weekend plans and hands down favorite moment. And then on the little 2x2s of my daughter singing at church, I have special, making bold moves, and fearless. It sometimes does take me a while to get through them and kind of pick the ones that I want. Not all the time are they specifically exactly what I want, but I make do with the ones that come in the kit because I really want to use up my stash. And it kind of forces me to look at the picture in a different perspective as well. So you'll see me adding those to the pictures. Okay, after adding those to my photos, you are going to see me mess around with putting my cards and photos into the page protectors and taking them out like 3 times. I mean, watching this back really made me laugh at myself because while I was doing it, I was like, wow, I really am taking these out a lot. And then afterwards, I was like, okay, I should have done this in a simpler way. But here I am adding my pictures and cards to the page protector. Of course, I thought I was all done, but what I didn't take into account is the fact that I wanted to add ribbon to the top of these tags. So of course, I took forever. So here I am adding a piece of washi because this is a 4x6 spot, but I used 2 3x4s, which you can do that with any of your spreads. I highly recommend it. And then I'm adding in all the cards and photos. And then I'm like, wait a minute, I am missing adding some things. So it takes me a while before I figure that out. And again, it just made me laugh at myself because I'm like, I really should have thought about before. I had some cardstock heart stickers from one of the kits last month. I think this was actually from Begin last month. And I add those on top of the little word phrase stickers for some of my pictures. And then this is where I'm like, oh, I really need to do something about the empty box next to the date. So I go in my stash and I grab a small 3x4 stamp set that I had from my Bible journaling stash. And I'm going to add this little heart that has like little quotations around it, kind of. And it just fits perfectly in that box. And I just love that. And then I'm going to add it back to my page protector. Still have not added the ribbon. And you guys, this is just laughable. And then I also am going to grab a little crown that was on that 3x4 stamp set. And I'm going to stamp that out on some white sticker paper that I had left over. That way I can cut it out. I wanted to cut out this little crown and put it on top of my son's head because in this honor ceremony picture, he is the one on the far right, and I just wanted to be able to highlight him in some way in that picture so they can kind of zoom in on him. Okay, this is where I'm like, oh, I need some ribbon. So I grabbed this velvet trim. This is from Tim Holtz. I've had it in my stash for a while. I have lots of different colors from him, and this is the last of it, and I'm so glad that I'm able to put it to good use. I add that to the 3 cards, and then you're gonna see me grab my X-Acto knife and make a little slit. Now, when Ali does this, she creates a slit all the way across the 3x4, but I actually found it easier just to make a smaller slit and then pull the ribbon over to the other side because it doesn't, I don't know, it makes it kind of simpler to me. So what I do is I add the tab on the other side or tag on the other side, then I pull it through on a smaller section. So you'll see me do that here on the 4x6. I just do the small section of where I know my tag's gonna be. And then I go ahead and have that stapled on with my tiny attacher. I cut that down. I'm not using the right scissors for this fabric. And then I'm just gonna pull through the little tabs to the other side. So there's not a full slit there. Okay, darlings, that is it. I love how this turned out. I had to cut those slits as you saw. I am thinking of adding one embellishment here. Just want to find like the perfect embellishment to add to this picture. Other than that, all the other pictures are embellished. And then I'll be filling in this January looks like this with some ephemera that I have collected. And then one of those are one of these tickets of my kids. They have several of these tickets from their games. And I also want to cut this out on my herbal tea and add this here. So I will be filling this in. I just don't have all of my ephemera collected here, but that will be filled in afterwards. But that is a wrap for part 3. I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. Please let me know below what else you would like to see in memory keeping, and if you're enjoying my Project Life videos. And thank you so much for joining me each and every video, darlings. God bless. Bye.